This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone. Well, since I hope everyone is here and we have a lot to cover, we really should begin today's virtual program. I really appreciate you all for attending today's virtual conference. A very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to one and all present here virtually with me today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Clara McBroom, the Conference Secretariat at Coalesce Research Group LLC, and I will be available for any of your queries or questions throughout the webinar to help you technically and organize the webinar successfully. Before we start with the sessions, I guess some of you will be new to GoToMeetings app. Let me just explain you the important tools required for the presentation. On the GoToMeetings app or web page, you can find your four icons at the bottom center: mic, camera, screen, and end. Mic button or click on that to mute and unmute. I request you all to stay muted while our speakers are presenting their research work so that it doesn't cause any disturbance to them. Camera button. You can use this button to share or unshare the web camera. If you have the option to share the webcam, you can do it and it is completely your choice. Screen button. You can use this button to share your screen. This is the main part. During your presentation, after I call your name from my side, I will be making you the presenter and I will give you the permission to share the screen. Then only you will be able to share your screen. So once I make you the presenter, you can click on the screen button and you'll find a pop-up window to share your screen. And this is your fourth icon where you can use this to leave the session. So as I mentioned, kindly remain muted during the presentation so that the presenters don't get disturbed. And for any question, you can ask the questions or you can send your questions in the message box too. Well, let's not take too much of your time. Finally, I would like to request you to please give us a brief introduction about yourself before starting the session so that we can know about you virtually. And now let's move into our sessions. Our first presenter is Dr. Mohammad Rahil Bhuta from University of UTH Asia Campus, South Korea. Title of the talk is Multimodality Brain Computer Interface. Dr. Mohammad, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let me make you the presenter. Can you please click on your screen?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see your screen. You can start now.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Clara, for your introduction. Okay. My name is Mohammad Rail Bhuta. I'm currently working as a professor in Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, University of Utah Asia Campus, which is located in Incheon, South Korea. Um, the talk I'm going to give is related to the multimodality-based brain-computer interface. So I will start my introduction, my talk for the neural activity. We will talk about a little bit. Then we will talk about that how the brain imaging, what are the basic brain imaging techniques which we can use to detect the brain activity in the living humans, okay, or in the working or non-patient patients, humans we talk about. Basically, we will talk about EEG and FNERS. These are the two theories which we look for because these are the ones which are mainly portable and easy to use. So EEG and FNERS, we will talk about these two systems. Then we will talk about the FNERS development system which we have developed in this study. And it's not only one system, we have developed multiple modules or multiple systems we have developed for this research. And then we will use it for using the sensory signals and using uh, uh, the light detection system. We will prove that the system which we have developed it works in the for the human. Okay, so if we talk about the action potential, because in our brains, or the biggest part in our brain is the nervous system. That's the part of the brain of the human body which actually controls all the activities in the human brain, human body. So your hand, your movement of your hands, your thinking, your memory, everything is controlled by your nervous system. So the neurons, which is the biggest part of the nervous system, so they talk to each other, they send signals to each other, through which we find out that whenever some part of the neuron is active, so we will be, so that part of the neurons, they are sending signal to one part. Now, these signals can be two types, is exhibitory or inhibitory type of signals it can generate. Inhibitory means that the signal is kind of a discriminating signal, means it's going to be decreasing signal, the value that it's the non-activity kind of signal which will be generated in there. Exhibitory signal is the one which is like for used for the sending the signal, or means basically the movement which is being passed from one to the second one. Okay. So the neurons, they communicate with each other using the electrical signals, and those electrical signals, they are called the action potential in there. And how the action potential is basically created? So if you look at this neuron, so neurons have different three major types. Okay. So they have an axon. So they have a nucleus in the center over here. Okay, in the center they have the nucleus. Then they have the dendrites over here, and then we have the axon at the which is the main part in here, and then we have the axon terminals which are at the end of of a neuron. So basically, through the dendrites, the neurons, they collect the signals from different other neurons. Now, if the signal is coming as a positive signal, if I just take it as a positive and negative way, so the positive signals, and then at the end over here in the nucleus part, so all the positive and negative signals are being collected together. And then if the sum of the total collection is positive, then it means the neuron has to generate a positive signal through the axon, and it has to be transmitted to the next neurons. Okay. So if we just talk about the neuron axon potential, of how the action potential actually generates in there. So the neuron stem cell or the axon, which is part of this one, we have just shown you kind of overview of kind of zooming type kind of thing in here. So basically what happens is like this axon has the outside is mostly the Na channels, which are the sodium channels, and the inside are mostly the calcium channels. And then we have some leaky channels which actually use to keep the concentration on inside and outside the same level. So you can see this blue one is actually a kind of leaky channel in here. So in the resting potential, or the few calcium, they go out, few sodium ions, they come inside. But as soon as we have some signal in here, so what we do is like the sodium channel, they get open and the sodium comes inside. So that's actually the phase in which we get this kind of peak over here. So you can see this peak which comes over here. And after that, the calcium channels opens up and the negative charge goes out. Okay. So this is how the neurons, they basically communicate with each other. They send the signal from one neuron to the next neuron. Okay. Now we have to find out that, okay, I want to read these action potentials. For this, we have different technologies and different ways which we can work on. That if whenever a portion of the brain is active, at that time, it's fine. Okay, I can. So if you can look at my video as well, what happens is like whenever, like if I want to move my right hand, okay, so the left side of the brain, which is like this motor cortex area of the brain, that gets activated. So neurons in that area, so they are actually talking to each other. We can say in that way, they are communicating with each other. They are sending signals to each other. Okay. So when they are sending a signal, so we want to detect somehow that which part of the neuron of the brain is getting activated for some specific activities, like moving my right hand or moving my left hand. So I want to differentiate between the two, that which part, yeah, of the body I'm trying to move, or my leg, or my right hand, or my leg. So which part I'm making. So based on that one, so the activity on the brain is comes on the different parts. Okay. So we have the few brain imaging techniques. So the starting with the first one, which is the ECOG and the electrode array. So these activities are basically, we can call them as the activities for So we have to open the skull, and then we have to insert the array, which is like a Utah array, or nowadays we talk about the neural tech, which is like made by the Elon Musk. So they are also making this kind of array in which they insert this array onto the brain, and then onto the exactly on the neurons, okay? And then they try to get the signal from there. But the problem with this one is it's invasive brain imaging. Okay, so they have to open the skull, they have to like put in the electrode array onto the brain directly. Okay, and then after some time it gets rusty. It has some problems in there, so that's why they have to take it out and then change the array after some time. Then the second type of technique we have the nuclear brain imaging technique, which is like PET and SPECT. Okay, so an isotope is being inserted into the body, and once that isotope reacts with the other uh, chemicals in the body, then it gives some radiation, and those radiations are detected, and then from there we can detect that which part of the brain is getting activated, or we can image the brain from there as well. The three non-invasive brain imaging techniques, so we have the functional MRI, okay, and then EEG, and then the last one is the FNER. Okay. So these are the three ones which are the non-invasive brain imaging techniques, and these are the ones which are being used for the brain-computer interface most of the time. Okay. Electrode array or ECOG is being used nowadays, but it can only be used mostly for the patient, not for the normal human being, because the normal human being definitely they don't want to have the skull open and the electrode array is being inserted in their brain. So they don't want to do that because it's a complete seizure they have to do. So that's a big difficult thing which normal people just don't want to do that. So it can be done, but normally up till now it's been done for the patients, which are like the paralyzed patient most of them. For fMRI, the problem is like it has a good spatial resolution, but it has a low temporal resolution. The basic means it means like in time I get the signal activity a little bit later time. Like I get an activity in about 10 to 15 seconds it takes to find out whether the activity has happened or not. But it has a very high spatial resolution. I can make like if the part of the finger is being moving, or this part of the finger I'm moving, so I can detect these two parts as well using the fMRI, because in the brain area it's very close. In about millimeters, we can detect which part is getting activated. Okay. Then we have the EEG, which actually detects the action potential directly from the brain signal from the brain. Okay. We normally put it on the scalp of the brain, and then it has a low spatial resolution, means it's very difficult to identify where exactly the activity is coming from. But it has a very high temporal resolution, means it can detect the activity within milliseconds. The FNERS, which is in between the two of them, the fMRI and the EEG, it has the medium temporal resolution and the medium high resolution, the spatial resolution. We can detect an activity with the FNERS in about 2 to 3 seconds with the slow signal. The fast signal, which I will show you for the FNERS, we can detect an activity within a half of a second. And also it's like it's for the temporal side it's much better than the fMRI, and for the spatial side we can detect an activity between 2 to 3 centimeter range. Okay, so we can try to detect the activity in there. So these are the few techniques which we have for the brain imaging which we normally use in there in the nowadays. So in our study we use EEG and FNERS, because the problem with the fMRI is that the MRI machines are really big. Okay, so we cannot take them outside, and the subject cannot be in a moving state when we want to do our research for the brain computer interface. So that's why EEG and FNERS, both of them, these are the portable ones, and both of them are the low cost, can be designed as a low cost as well. So these two are one which we have more focused on for the brain computer interface side. So for the EEG, if I just deep a little bit, give you a little bit of idea about the EEG signals. So how we detect the EEG signals from the brain. So basically, we put on the electrode on the scalp of the brain, and then the action potential which is being generated by the activity of the neurons, by communication of the neurons, we try to detect this action potential. So like the action potential which is happening in this area, it means that's more related to the motor side. The action potential mostly happening in the front side or the left frontal cortex, that's related mostly for the memory. I'm sorry for that. That's mostly for the memory side. Okay, so we try to detect the action potential of from the neurons directly from in that case. So not going much deep into the side. So if I just give you an idea about the apnea studies, apnea communication detection as well. So in case of apnea, we don't do the direct the activity detection or the measurement of the action potential. Basically, we do an indirect activity detection in using the apnea. So whenever a brain portion or the neurons of a specific brain area getting activated, so they for to be active, a neuron to be active, they need oxygen, and the oxygen comes through the blood. So what happens is, so we have the vessels, the blood vessels all around the brain area. So whenever the brain activated, so it needs blood, it needs oxygen, and so we put what we do is like so, and then whenever the oxygen is being given to the neuron, then we get the deoxygenated particles in there. So in our brain, in our blood, so we have the oxygenated and deoxygenated. Both types of chromophores are available in there. And then what we do is like we put the emitter or the source of light on one side, and then we put the detector on the light on the other side. Okay, and then we shoot light onto the brain, and once brain is being the light is being go into the brain, then it comes out to the detector side. Then we can find out that how much light has been absorbed by the chromophores. Like in the resting state, there will be like a set number of oxy and deoxyhemoglobin. But when the activity will happen, then we will have the change in the oxygen level and the change in the deoxygenated chromophore. That will happen. And we use the FNERS or near infrared spectroscopy, it is called. So the near infrared light is being used in this case. So the near infrared light is normally absorbed by the hemoglobin, which is like the oxyhemoglobin and the deoxyhemoglobin, water and limit and the lipids. But we normally use the near infrared light from 650 nanometer to about 900 nanometers. So if you look at this part, so the most of the light is being absorbed by oxy, which is O2HB, or the deoxyhemoglobin. Okay, so it's not been absorbed by water or lipids. The water concentration or the water absorption comes around more than around near to 950 nanometer, and for the water is around 950 to 9 to 1000, and for the lipid is around 925 to 950 nanometers. Okay. So the most of the light has been absorbed by oxy and deoxy. So that's why we choose this window of around 650 nanometer to around 850 nanometer. So that's the window of the light which we choose. And then based on that one, we shoot the light and then we detect the light. And the absorption, the change in the absorption of the light can give us that how much activity has been happening in that area. So that's the basic concept of the FNER study. And then once we receive the light, so actually the light does not come in a straight path. If the light is coming in the straight path, like if we have nothing in there, it's coming, we shoot light from here, we detect light on that side. So in that case, we normally use the Beer-Lambert law. And then by using the Beer-Lambert law, we can detect that how much absorption has been done between the medium. But the problem with the brain is like it's not a straight line. We don't shoot light from here and we don't detect the light here. We actually shoot light from one side and we detect the light from here. What happens is it makes a kind of banana shape is being made the way we receive the light. That's an assumption that it comes in a banana shape. So you can see when we shoot light from here, when we receive in this one, so it goes through the brain area and we get the detection of the light. Okay, so it makes a kind of banana shape when it goes from the brain and then it comes out from here. So that's why we have to use the modified Beer-Lambert law, and it's been developed in 1988 by the Delphi. Okay, so they have developed this law in 1988 so that they can work on the Appler system. Okay, so that was the basics of the Appler detection and how it's basically working with. So from the modified by Beer-Lambert law, so we can get the concentration of HBU and HBr and we keep on shooting the light. Normally we just minimum we shoot two wavelengths of light, okay, so that we can get from this activity, we can get one light is being shoot for like 700 nanometer, the other one is around 850 nanometer, and then we can see that which part is getting increasing, because you can see from here that from 700 to 850, the oxyhemoglobin is increasing, whereas the deoxyhemoglobin is decreasing. Okay, so whereas in the other side, for the deoxyhemoglobin, the starting point, the deoxy is increasing and is going towards the decreasing side. So that's how we can change our, we can detect if we have two lights, then we can see that which of the hemoglobin, which of the chromophore is actually increasing and which one is decreasing in here. Okay. So based on this material, so we designed our first system. So we proposed the system, and this system, the good thing was that it was being proposed based on the LED base. When we designed the system, the most of the system which were available at that point, they were on mostly the laser-based system, because the laser has more power, it can go deeper. But by the time we were designing this one, so we said, okay, we can do it with using the sorry, we can do it with by using the simple LEDs as well. So we have the LED emitters over here, we have the detectors on the other side, and we have, this is a whole circuitry which we made in there. So we have the microcontroller, and then so when we shoot light from here, the detectors they detect the light, definitely going from the plane side, and then the light intensity signal comes to the ADC, which is the analog to digital conversion. So we convert that value into the digital values, and then those digital values are being fed to the Wi-Fi module, and through the Wi-Fi module they go to the data processing module. That can be a laptop that we can see the signal, because that's the Wi-Fi, so we can receive the signal even on the mobile phone as well. So we are trying to make the application on the mobile phone as well, so that we can see in the real time, we can see that activity which is happening in somebody's brain. Okay. So we have the power supply which is giving power to the LED circuit drive circuitry, to the photodiode drive circuitry, and to the microcontroller as well. Okay, and then and the microcontroller is actually also controlling the on and off of the light as well, and also when the photodiode have to be receiving the data as well. So based on this phenomena, so we developed our first system, which was a continuous wave nurse system. And so you can see in the middle, so we have the LEDs over here. So these LEDs are used for emitting the light, and then the bigger part, these are the which we have the photodiodes. Okay, so uh, okay, so these are the photodiodes and these are my LEDs. Okay, so these the center, the spot, these are the LEDs I have, and the top one and the bottom one, these are, and this was the very first system which we developed in this one. So this system is actually connected, the LEDs are actually connected through the system, and they are connected with this microcontroller in here. It was a very small system. It was only 12 channel system, because we had 3 LEDs and 8 photodiodes. But actually on one time, one LED, like these 4 photodiodes are connected with the one LED. In the same way, these 4 photodiodes, they are connected with the middle LED, and then these 4 photodiodes are connected with the rest of the last LED. Okay, so that's how the LEDs are connected, and then they shoot light, and the respective photodiodes, they detect the light, and they can receive the light, and then we can detect. But it was only made for the prefrontal cortex. This system cannot work on, or it can work only if the subject is bald. Okay, so if he does not have hair on the on head, then we can use this system. Otherwise, this system was actually made for the prefrontal cortex. Based on the same thing, we developed our second system, which was actually being made for the whole brain. Okay? So we have two types of probes now. I think there's a small mistake. So this system, so you can see over here in the second system, we made the photodiodes and the LEDs in such a way that they can be inserted into the holes of these caps. Okay. So this is a special cap which we made by ourselves, okay, in our lab. So we developed this cap, And then we developed the silicon-based probe, which can be put on the prefrontal cortex as well. And the LEDs can be put into these holes, and then we can make any combination. Okay. So the maximum data channels which we can make from here, that's 120 to 120 channels we can make. Typically, we make 32 channels, but maximum we can make total 120 channels because we have 8 LEDs and 15 detectors for this system. Okay, so that was the second one. Based on then we made our fully portable system. Okay. So we can see from here, so this is a complete portable system. So we have the LEDs on the front side, and then we have the photodiodes on the other side. Okay. And then these LEDs and the photodiodes, and this also have the EEG system electrodes on the top as well. So this system we can directly put on our brain, okay, and then on our prefrontal cortex, and then we can have we can detect the activity without any issues in there. I can show you. So I can show you this system in the live as well. So we developed it in our lab, and we are still doing experiments. So it's in the experimental phase now, and we are going towards the design of technical design as well. So you can see this system. So it has like photodiodes and the EEG system, everything. So we can just simply put this system onto the forehead like this, and then can combine. We can just tie it out back, and then it can work for the user. And the user is free now. All the controllers, everything is inside this system. Okay. So it's EEG, it's 4-channel EEG, and total we have like about 32-channel FNER system. Okay, so that's what we have for this one, and we can detect the activity from the prefrontal cortex of the subject, which is moving subject. So the subject does not have to sit. Okay, and on the Wi-Fi, it will transmit the data to the mobile phone or to the laptop. So wherever you need the data, it will come directly to there. Okay. So these are the systems which we developed. So that's what the multimodality. So we combine FNERs with EEG so that it can work together for the prefrontal cortex. So based on that, we did the experiment for the lie detection. That was important. That was very really interesting study which we had. So we tried to see how we can check the system. So what we did, like we because it was for the prefrontal cortex, so we needed some I wanted to test it in a real time scenario. So we played a game which is called a bluff game. Okay. So in the bluff game, if any one of you have played that game, so basically what happens is like you have some cards with you, and then you have to finish your card, and whoever finishes the card, so he wins. So we gave our subject about 20 cards, and there was a random card. But we made sure that the subject has a few cards in which he does not have a pair. Okay. So in the bluff game, so he has to finish his card. He just says like three of spades. Or in our example, you can see from here, he has around two nines. So you can just say two nines, and then he just put the card upside down onto the table, and the another person has to judge whether he's trying to lie or whether he's trying to tell the truth at that point. Definitely, the subject has to tell a lie 6 to 7 times in our 20 sessions so that he can finish his card. Okay. So, and if he finishes the card, then he gets some reward as well. And the other subject, if he detects whether he's trying to lie, then he gets some reward. Okay. The reward money was not very big, but a very small thing was given as a reward to the both to the subject. Okay. So we did this experiment with about 8 subjects. Okay, and each subject has about 20 sessions, and in out of those 20 sessions he has to speak 7 to 8 times. He has to lie, but it was his own choice when he wants to lie. We didn't told him that on which point we have to lie, at which point we have to tell the truth. That was his own choice. So we tried to make the game as real as possible. Okay, so that's what we did the experiment with the subject. And then, so we made, first we tested this system with the normal, the classification models which we had, like the simple decision tree, complex decision tree, linear SVM. We use the quadratic SVM, cubic SVM. Okay, KNN, we use these ones to detect the lie. And then we proposed our own neural network. Okay, so we proposed 3 neural networks which were basically modeled on the CNN, which is convolutional neural network model. Okay, so the inputs are the same, the 2 inputs we have. So these are the mean and the slope of the HBO signal. We have two outputs, so that's for the lie and for the truth. Okay, and then we have the number of in all three of the models, the number of layers are the same. Okay, so we have four layers in all three models, but in each layer, the number of nodes are different. Okay, so we made three different models, and then we detect our and then we tested our system on these models. Okay, so we propose, so you can see from here, from this table you can see that our model, which is like M3, okay, so the model which is M3 over here, that has given the highest accuracy of 90%. That's an average accuracy. Okay, so we got a very good result on the average accuracy. Average accuracy basically means like we tested out of 20, we like trained our neural network on 19 trials, and then we tested one of the trials. Okay, so again we choose random 19 trials for the testing, and the one trial is being done for the testing purpose. Okay, so that's how we tested. We did our experiment multiple times, and we find out, okay, which model is giving us the best accuracy, and we found that the proposed neural network model M3 gives us the highest accuracy of 90%. But that's not where we stopped. So we checked, okay, let's try to find out the subject-wise accuracy as well. So we had in total 10 subjects, okay. So we checked it for the subject number one. We saw that for M1, M2, and M3, for all three of them, we checked. So which one has the highest accuracy? So the subject number one says, in his case, he gets the accuracy for 90% for all three of our models. Then we tested for subject 2, 3, and 4. So we find out that on the average of the subjects, still M3 gives us the best record for 83.5 models, okay, subject wise. In the same way, so we didn't stop at the subject one, then we came to the session wise as well. So what we did at that point, that we just picked any three random sessions for each of the subject, okay, and then we tested. So because the model is already been trained, so we just took any three of the models, like you can see in this case. So what we had is like for the subject number one, so the sample one, two, three, you can see. So the actual class was a true, false, and true. Okay. So when we tested on all the models, you can see it was being taken by the M1 for true, but for the second time it was actually a false, but M1 tested it as a true. Okay. But you can see from here the other models also tested as a true. Okay, but the M3 actually has detected that it was a false, means he tried to lie in this case as well. Okay, so that's how we tested for each model some random files, and we tested. Okay, you can see from here the subject number 6, he had a false, like, and but that's been actually given by all of them. Okay, so all of them, all the models tested it true. Maybe it's just because it was very close to that position. So based on that one, so we find out that the subject wise also, so we got an accuracy of 90% with M3. Okay, so by doing that, so we can see that this is how we can use our system for the lie detection or for the other properties as well. Okay, so if we integrate more source and detectors in there, so we can go to the whole brain, and then we can develop the full system from there as well. Okay, now this is the one study which we did. Now I just want to show you another one which we did in in our lab a few times back. If I can just show that one, if I can just run this video. Okay, so you can see. Okay, let me just explain it for the first time. So the subject is wearing the cap on his brain, okay, on his head, and then he's trying to control this quadcopter only two directions, okay, forward and turn right. Okay, so these are the two directions which we are controlling at the moment, and the going up and down, that's not been controlled by the human brain. So in the here we are only detecting two activities, and we are trying to distinguish forward direction and the right turn. Okay, so for the forward direction, the subject is trying to like pinch his right fist. To turn, he's trying to do for the left side. Okay, so that's what we have in here. And if you can see from here, so you will see, so that it goes up a little bit, So it stays there. And now it starts moving forward because he's trying to move his hand in that direction and then trying to right side. Okay. So that's what we are trying to do in the future now, that we want to control using the brain activity, trying to control the wheelchair or trying to control the other things like the exoskeleton as well. So these are the things which we want to do in the future as well. Okay. So that's it from my side. If you guys have any questions, you are welcome to ask. One thing more, this work was actually supported by the National Research Foundation of Korea. Okay, so I have a kind of 3 years project, which I'm working, and I'm the PI for that project as well. And I have a team which works with me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for your presentation. Does anyone have any queries? I hope there are no queries. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed.
No problem. Thank you. If any
Thank you.
query, then you have my email address is written here. You can send me an email for that as well.
Yeah, I'll share with them.
Thank you. Have a
Thank you.
good day.
Good day. Now let's move on to next presentation by Hafiz Mohammad Tofil from Kuwait I Azam University, Pakistan. Title of the talk is Reduced Graphene Oxide Zinc Sulfide Nanocomposite decorated with silver nanoparticles for wastewater treatment by adsorption, photocatalysis, and antimicrobial action. Dr. Hafiz, are you ready with your presentation?
Hello,
Hello,
am
Dr.
I
Hafiz.
audible?
Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, I am ready for my presentation.
Okay, now I'm making you the presenter. Please click on your screen.
Okay,
Yes, we can see your screen. Can you make it full screen presentation?
yes, let me search the, I share the screen.
But we cannot see your screen.
What I think there is some.
Yes, now we can see your screen.
Okay, now is everything is fine. Like screen,
Yes, but can you make full screen presentation?
it's
Full
it's
screen.
full screen. Eh, just a minute. Now it's a full screen from my side.
Yes, yes, we can see now. You can start your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me a chance to present my presentation today. Reduce graphene. The title of my presentation is Reduce Graphene Oxide Zinc Sulfide, the nanocomposite with nanoparticles for the wastewater treatment, absorption, photocatalysis, and microbial action. This is the major three area for the water contamination. Uh, as we see, like from a couple of years, um, we have a lot of water wastage from textile plants classified for the most polluting of all this industrial sector. Among them, various pollutant, organic dyes, are aromatic compound, which is organic based compound from pharmaceutical industries, from which is responsible for making the water pollutant. Increase this demand for the textile and is a substantial source of surf pollution is a current time which need to be to be addressed this problem. So the need of hour is to generate the feasible method for devices for the detoxification of water from this water pollutants. There are multiple source of water pollutants like human beings, how they can contaminate the carcinogenic uh, dyes and high toxic basic and like direct dyes, the contamination and direct contact with the waters. Similarly, fish and sea waters high toxic benzidine based disperse dyes causing toxicity to fish which uh, damage the blue economy life below water as per the uh, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, also from the plants, textile wastage, embed environment, and so all these sources have a great impact over the human life and aquatic life in the form of water contamination. So I choose graphene oxide. Why I chose graphene oxide? Because it have multiple functionalities, particularly in material sciences, chemistry, and even in other area of research. It is a two-dimensional single-layer hexagonal structure with sp2 hybridized, highly large surface area, and high thermal conductivity with the zero band gap, thickness, and nature friendly, like economically friendly, as I will show in the next slide. In how I made the graphene oxide, like it is an excellent electron conductor and electron mobility from the uh, lowest to highest energy gap and then to the dyes which is the target for the degradation. So graphene is a good source of the choice for this water contamination. The next is mostly graphene carbon based material which is used for the waste technology water treatment technologies, and it is like they have a strong absorption capacity with the high temperature, like changing any kind of temperature and like pressure, there is no such effect on the graphene oxide. And it have its functionalities. The most important thing, it has a ring structure with large surface area and a zero band gap. So the different functionality led the negative charge which help the absorption of the water charge pollutant. In the next slide, this is objectives, why we need like to address the two to prepare graphene oxide hybrid based material which have a lot of capacity as compared to the previous material reported, as the previous the people work and the scientists like they did a lot of good work. And so why we need the graphene based material, so to design such material which have eliminated the multiple pollutant for wastewater simultaneously to use and prepare material for the degradation as well as simultaneously remove the dyes to investigate directly the catalytic activity of preparing material against dyes and aromatic compounds such as resorcinol. Resorcinol is an organic compound which is uh, which causes the water wastage inside the water, and they are mostly used in the pharmaceutical industry to evaluate all the prepared material and destroying the biological pollutant such as bacteria for contamination of water. So next slide. Okay, the next slide, which is first of all the theme of this research, that how I prepared the graphene oxide sheets, which is integrated with this zinc, decorated like they have. I decorated this with the silver and zinc sulfide. So graphene oxide is some composite with silver nanoparticles synthesized, used as an absorbent for removal of methyl blue dye. Methyl blue is an organic dye which causes water contamination, used as a catalyst for individual and simultaneously reduction of dyes as an aromatic compound such as resorcinol is a dye. Antifungal activity and fungal activity like falciparum, auxifolium was also studied. graphene oxide was treated with this bacteria, with this fungi. So this fungi give and different results, which will be in the last segment of this presentation. This is the XRD analysis of graphene oxide. The XRD have the two major like parts, which is uh, and 001, and which is equal to the 10 degree, and the XRD will be set from 5 to 90 degree. So and 25 and 30, they have a lot of functional groups which can vibrate it, and like the XRD, and they have a lot of crystal structure like inside when you will pass the light through a graphene sample. So additional like by using Debye sharing formula, additionally with the 0.97 nanometer and spacing, there is a d spacing which is equal to 001 orientation, and the interlayer spacing, because graphene has a layer and sheet layer to layer structure, so they have like 0.7 nanometer crystal size. This is the XRD of analysis of zinc sulfide. They have three major peaks. One is on 28 and 220, and other 48, and the last one is 58. So the corresponding peak is in the diffraction of 11 and 220 and 331 311 planes. They have different planes with the parameter calculated by 5.34 angstrom, which is very close to the standard value of 5.42 angstrom. The broad peak indicated to the nanocrystalline behavior in the like firstly I have to prepare graphene oxide, and the next target is to decorate zinc sulfide over the sheet of graphene oxide. So this is the UV visible spectroscopy of graphene oxide. They have two, like the peak of uh, graphene oxide, which is appear on 234 nanometer, the strongest. This is because of the pi to pi star carbon carbon conjugation in aromatic rings, because they have a lot of aromatic rings, while 306 nanometer is due to n2 pi star, which is carbon double bond with the different functionalities. This is the TEM analysis of graphene oxide, and the TEM analysis of graphene oxide, and which is like zinc sulfide undecorated. The silver is decorated over the surface of graphene. This is the sheets of graphene oxide. This is the sheets of graphene oxide. So in this image, the silver is decorated over the surface of graphene oxide. So in the next, like you can also see from the TEM analysis and EDX, here this is the surface of graphene sheet, and here the elemental study of the EDX study, which is indicated in the colors sulfur, oxygen, and carbon. So the carbon percentage is very high as compared to the oxygen and sulfur. This is because the the structural chemistry of graphene, which is composed of a lot of like millions with the shapes in a different ring structure, and they have a lot of functional groups. With this, oxygen and sulfur is a minor percentage of the functional group attached to the graphene oxide. The next slide. This is the EDX of graphene oxide with the composites of silver and zinc sulfide, and you can see that there is a carbon percentage is reduced, while zinc percentage is like 50.76% weight. So the zinc sulfide, and this is clearly indicate that all element was successfully doped over the surface of graphene oxide. Here and the color images show that zinc, sulfur, oxygen, and carbon are present in the uh, nanocomposites. Again, it is a different composition. Like I just checked 1%, 2%, and 3 different percent composition. So again, this is the again structure, which is silver was added, and all the elements are shown in the color. this is 3%. There are three different percent composition: 1%, 2%, and 3%. This is a 3% composition, and I use this 3% entirely in my research. So here there are three elements. Like the percentage of silver is very rare, but it is the zinc sulfide and oxygen was present at high concentration. This is the photo degradation study of risarsenol. Risarsenol, this is the original peak of risarsenol at spectroscopy while absorbance and wavelength were calculated. So after adding the risarsenol, carbon graphene oxide, zinc sulfide, graphene oxide was decorated with the zinc sulfide 3%, and after 2 hours, 4 hours, and 3 hours, 6 hours, without changing the concentration, I have just to change the time. So in 6 hours, the percentage of degradation is shown in this plot of spectroscopy techniques. This is the spectroscopy, like the effect of concentration. If let's suppose I change the concentration of uh, the catalyst, like graphene, which is decorated by silver and zinc sulfide, so I take a different concentration. So the concentration was 50 mg, and this is 100 milligram. So again, the same resorcinol was treated with the same concentration in the same time, but the concentration was changed from 50, 100, 150, and 200 milligram. So here the percent degradation was shown is the percent, like it is 85% in 50 milligram, it is 86% with 100 milligram, and it is 91 and 96. So this conclude that the concentration of resorcinol increases, the percentage keeping the concentration of graphene oxide same, while concentration of the resorcinol increases, so the percentage of degradation will also increases. This is like the pH experiment of different pH. I have to check the water, like the pH where we perform this activity. So uh, I took the acidic media. From here, the acidic media, the catalyst degradation is very slow. After 4 hours, the catalyst degraded like very slow of the resorcinol compound. It The figure 2 is show that at 4 pH, the catalyst degradation show a little bit good result as compared to the pH 4, pH 2, sorry. In the next, this is a neutral pH, like pH at 7, where the resorcinol compound show in within hour they are completely degraded up to the 60 minutes. Like at neutral pH, they work a good work. And this is the basic pH where resorcinol compound show a different result. At pH 9, for 4 hours it was treated, and this is one of the most challenging compound for my in my research, and I never reported this. Uh, like this is 3-chlorophenol. I work a lot that why it is not like degraded the compound. It's only changed the peak shift from because of this chlorine and the meta position and the delocalization of this electron. The chlorophenol is only shift this. It is not degraded like as resorcinol, but the peak only shift from UV to visible region. It's let's suppose it is from 200 to 400, we have a UV region, and then onward it is a visible region. So the peak completely shift to this direction, and it is a difficult, like 3-chlorophenol is like converted into a different transition state. So it's like it's a challenging for me to degrade and how to degrade this compound 3-chlorophenol. In the next, this is methyl blue, the dye, which is uh, like hazardous for the water. in the water system when we're responsible for the wastewater. So the same catalyst was treated with this dye and it is also successfully degraded. In the next slide, this is the falciparum bacterial antifungal activity with the different concentration of graphene oxide 10, 8, 6 and 4 is the concentration was like this is a control disk and this is the graphene oxide with zinc sulfide which show very little activity, and this is again and 0 and 6 milligram, and this is 4 milligram and 10 and 8 milligram, and this is the peak of is this is the zinc sulfide um, treatment with the percentage of inhibition, and this is the 4 milligram is the percentage. The fungal activity is also increasing, inhibition zone will also broadening, and this is a conclusion. So graphene oxide and its complexes with zinc sulfide were synthesized successfully. Graphene oxide nanocomposites with zinc sulfide were successfully doped, like decorated with the different percentage of silver nanoparticle. Doped graphene oxide, such as nanocomposites, were utilized photocatalyst degradation for such as resorcinol, the chlorophenol, which is again I'm talking about this that this is challenging for me in my research aromatic compound, and I'm working on this. Doped nanocomposites were good photocatalyst like activity have they are compared to undoped composites. There are two different categories, which is doped and undoped category. Effect of different parameter like concentration, pH, medium were also optimized for maximum photocatalytic degradation. All the pair nanocomposite were shown in the antifungal activity and antifungal strength, which is heavily showing ability of simultaneous removal of biological compound from the wastewater. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And the last is my research paper, which is published in MDPI on the same topic, which is reduced graphene oxide, uh, zinc sulfide, nanocomposites decorated with silver. And you can search from this. And anyone who want to ask a question, I'm here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hafiz, for your presentation. Does anyone have any queries? I hope there are no queries. Thank you, Dr. Hafiz. Let's move on to next presentation by Dr. Raham El Al-Rakib, Al-Ziza Municipality, Jordan. Title of the talk is Implementation of the Global Concepts of Smart Municipalities in Jordan, Greater Amman Municipality as a Case Study. Dr. Raham, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, I'm ready.
Now I'm making you the presenter. Please click on your screen.
Okay. Right.
Dr. Raham, are you there?
Hello?
Dr. Raham, are you there?
Yes, yes, give me the permission for share.
Yes. Now I'm making you the presenter. Can you click on your screen?
Okay, okay,
Yes. We can see your screen.
okay.
You can
Hello,
start your presentation.
okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. My presentation is about implementation of the global concept of smart municipalities in Jordan, Greater Amman Municipality as a case study. We know the smart city is a worldwide concept that seeks to incorporate information and communication technologies and tools to improve city management and popularize its development. The problem statement of this research is weak experience in the field of smart city and their application strategies, missing studies to identify smart project implementation priorities, population density, infrastructure, and poor financial support are the main obstacles that prevent GAM to transform into a smart municipality. The study aimed to apply the concept of smart municipality to the GAM, defining the concept of smart municipality, develop a methodology for the evaluation and prioritization of smart municipality projects, describe the challenges of municipality in Jordan with a focus on the GAM project, develop a roadmap for the implementation and management of smart municipal projects. The main limitations include and were not limited to the time in collecting data because of the research was in COVID-19, lack of sufficient studies on the smart city in Jordan, and GAM representative were not fully cooperate with the researcher in providing the needing data. What is the smart city? When you talk about smart city, we talk in the main dimension, which is smart economy, smart environmental, smart mobility, smart governance, and smart living and smart people. The benefit of releasing universal target of smart city, enhanced livability, better quality of life for city residents, enhanced workability, job opportunities, economic growth, enhanced sustainability, careful use of nature, natural and economic resources. The indicator of most popular smart city ranking, there's some of examples like smart city index, global smart city performance, global cities ranking, ranking of city in motion, global power city index, ranking of world cities, and innovation cities global index. What about Jordan? Jordan have got the rank 53 in smart city index in the capital availability of the digital world, talent and technology. The task of smart city municipality is to develop and implement an accurate and successful development plan that ensure the advancement of the quality of life for residents. The case study of this research in the municipalities of Czech Republic and municipality in Jordan. The Karvina district in Czech Republic, 120 municipalities and towns of various types from all over the Czech Republic took part in the survey to determine which municipality should become smart. In Jordan, Greater Irbid municipality have some of the smart projects like renewable energy efficiency improvement, municipal waste recycling, modernizing the city public transportation network, enforcing energy efficiency regulation. And the municipality of Sahab launched its sustainability initiative under the title City of Green Cloud to reduce the negative repercussion of receiving 40,000 refugees. GAM, Greater Amman Municipality, ranked 47th on the Local Electronic Service Index for the top 100 municipality globally and ranked 4th in the Arab world after Dubai, Riyadh, and Tunisia. GAM was introduced in Expo Dubai 2020 and Arab Smart City Forum in Aqaba. The structure of this study is the implementation of smart city project or municipality concept by identification of gap smart city project and addressing challenges, the tool and method, literature review and interview with experts. The result was smart municipality assessment matrix. This table includes the dimension of smart city and project area and project action. I will take one example when we talk the dimension of environment, smart environment, the project area, network and environment monitoring, energy efficiency, smart building and building renovation, smart action pollution sensor, smart grids, public lighting, green building. And in mobility, we talk about the traffic management, public transport, accessibility, modality. In the people, we talk about the creativity, community building, and urban life management. Sorry. The result of challenges was pollution, limited access to financial aid, major infrastructure failure, a lack of access to technology, climate change effect, very rapid urbanization, urban poverty, and inequality, and a lot of these challenges which you see it in the table. The Smart Municipality Project Classification Implementation. The implementation of a project action in our case study, which is in GAM a case study, the project area in the environment dimension of energy efficiency, environment protection, it was available on GAM. Pollution sensor not available, smart grid available. This answer we took it from expert and the worker in the GAM municipality. And in mobility traffic management, almost it's not available. Smart parking system, ramp metering, traffic monitoring, charging station, intelligent public transport stops, sectional vehicle speed measurement, it's not available. Public spaces management, the integrated solution of park management, it was available. Camera system available, multi-modality available. All of these you can see it in the paper. Interview with expert. The smart project implementation, it was almost in mobility and environment, and there's no implementation in living and people. This matrix show the relation between the projects and the challenges. What will you find when you applicate this project? What's the challenges you will achieve? This is the project from GAM, PRT project, Bus Rapid Technology project, digital transformation, traffic management, and Al Ghabawi landfill. The mark of X which make it's achieve is available and O it's not available. When you talk, this is the Amman PRT project that we will achieve energy efficiency, and we will lower the pollution, and we will lower the lack of accessible and affordable public transport, increase in private car ownership and use, major infrastructure failure, limited access to financial aid. And the project area will achieve public transport, ICT infrastructure, accessibility, multimodality, and technology accessibility. In analysis of digital transformation project, the project area will achieve participation, transparency, and information accessibility, innovation. The challenges is pollution, major infrastructure failure, limited access to financial aid, lack of access technology, low urban institutional capacities. The analysis of traffic management project, it will achieve network and environment monitoring, energy efficiency. traffic management, public transport, ICT infrastructure, accessibility, multimodality, and in challenges, pollution, lack of equality, neighborhood and public space, lack of accessible and affordable public transport, lack of competitive, lack of access to technology, gap between government and governed, and lack of awareness, engagement, and participation. Analysis of Al-Ghabawi landfill project. We will achieve network and environment monitoring, energy efficiency, resource management, traffic management, and productivity. And in the challenges, almost the pollution, lack of equality, lack of accessible and affordable public transport, poor quality services, especially in health and education, climate change effect, lack of equality in access, opportunity, and resources. This is the summary of a project. The conclusion GAM can be transformed into a smart municipality because the local administration has made effort to plan and build facilities based on the city's need, which can be used and the foundation of a smart municipality system to bridge the gap between smart cities conceptual framework and the implementation status of the concept. It is critical to understand the role of a smart municipality project and their particular requirements and challenges. A smart municipality project assessment matrix can be customized to any municipality by identifying the most challenges issues associated and determining the potential of various project action to address them. This is the roadmap of smart municipality. Have the challenges of smart municipality, and it should be dealt with the smart project area and in relation with the smart project action. And there's a professional guideline of leveraging a smart municipality include assess stakeholder concern user needs, confirm the smart municipality vision, goals, and pillars, applying the smart municipality assessment matrix to all the municipality projects in Jordan, which should have the smart project challenges, define smart municipality initiative and project, evaluate the smart city initiative based on funding stream and implementation priority, raise awareness and management system in the environmentally smart municipality project. Finally, define the the smart municipality roadmap. The future study, we recommended some of future study. First one, incorporate the smart municipality project assessment matrix as a complete smart municipality project assessment method, converting it into a synthesis matrix that provide numerical value. This method can provide a holistic index, making it easier to compare different projects. The second one is application of the roadmap to Jordanian municipality. The Smart Municipality Project Assessment Matrix can analyze and provide a broad overview of the project included in a Smart Municipality Strategies plan. Thank you. If there are any question, I am here.
Thank you, Dr. Reham, for your presence and presentation. Does anyone having any queries? I hope there are no queries. Once again, thank you for your presence and presentation. Now let's move on to the next presentation. Is from Dr. Basharaj Bhaumik from Indian Institute of Technology, India. Hello, Dr. Basharaj, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now I'm making you as a presenter. Kindly click on the screen button to share your screen, please. Can you make it as a full screen mode, please?
Yeah, I hope it's visible.
Yeah, it's perfect. You can start your presentation now.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Basraj Mohammed from the Indian Institute of Technology, BHU, in Varanasi. Today, I'll be talking about a health risk model for rural household based on the distribution of multiple pollutants. So this is a part of the research work that is being carried out at the OSCAR lab, which is the Online Structural Control and Monitoring Lab. And this research work is part of the project that we have recently received. And this is a brief overview of the group. We have a lot of BTech students, that is undergraduate students, and we have a lot of postgraduates and a few PhD students as well. So the research which is being carried out in this group mainly focuses on 5 different verticals. The first of all is the research in environmental health risk pollution models. Then we mainly focus upon the structural control and monitoring applications, which is a direct application of civil structural engineering. So there are a lot of multifaceted approaches in the OSCAR lab, which is being carried on a daily basis. So based on each of these research projects, there are a lot of verticals and there are a lot of research topics based on which we get some funding from the government and the industries. So this is one of the key aspects of the research which is being produced, and you can see that the research actually ranges from instrumentation and civil engineering to chemistry and physical sciences and statistics and probability in civil engineering. So we focus on a lot of different topics in this lab. Coming to the main topic, we are talking about the health risk model for rural households, and this presentation is a direct result of the publication that we recently had with a few of the colleagues in this department. And we have published in one of the key journals in IWA Publishing, which is the Water Science and Technology. And this was a product of a lot of surveying and a lot of data collection over a couple of years. And this is one of the most comprehensive approaches to find out the risk model for rural households in rural India. So particularly, we are interested about the southern part of India, which is known as Bangalore, and this is a popular destination for all the software industries and the IT tourism industries in this country. So let us quickly go through the introduction. We are looking at some complex phenomena and some sort of physical, social, and economical dependencies. But there are some increasing concerns for the environment, which not only ranges on a global scale, but also emanates from a household level. There is a saying that every drop of water, when collected together, makes an ocean. So every household which contributes to some sort of actions towards the environment, this might go unnoticed by people on a global scale. So at each of the households, if we consider deep into their reactions of the environment, we inadvertently find out the contribution to environmental degradation due to the declining household conditions. The rural population in India was reported at 65% in 2021, and it almost remains stabilized now in 2023. So the World Bank data that we have here is for 2021, and that is when the research actually started to take place. So today we will be discussing about some of the health effects of the rural environment and how it contributes to environmental degradation. Now, since there are many works on environmental degradation in urban cities, there are very few detailed studies in the environmental variables, income, and health profile, and which describes the relationship between them for Indian rural areas. And that is why this is one of the primary works that has been carried out. If you see this map, this is a complete detailed map of the Karnataka state where Bangalore city is located. We have considered three different study locations based on the geographical and demographical spatial variations. We have taken care of the Bangalore rural district, the Chikbalapur district, and the Kolar district. So these three districts form the north and the southern and the southeastern part of the entire state. And this actually provides an overall idea about how the rural areas behave towards environmental degradation. So as I have already discussed, we have considered a total of around 3,800 or rather 3,900 villages. So this is an extensive study which has taken place over a year, and the total number of households was around 23,000. So we have gotten to the 23,000 households, and we have taken surveys from the households that ranged from 5 to 10%, and we have found out a detailed survey for this. So the first step in this process was the selection of the districts. Now that the districts were clear, which spanned from the northern to the southern part of the state, we actually went down to the households with a prepared survey questionnaire through which the primary and secondary data collection took place. So the primary and secondary data collection, when it took place, we got some basic idea about the household factors and how the people are actually living in the rural areas. So that was one of the key aspects of the research. Now that we have found out the questionnaire, there were predominant tests which were carried out on water quality, wastewater, and solid waste using some statistical and machine learning approaches. From here, the major contribution of this work is the identification of the various emerging pollutants corresponding to each income group, that is the low income group, the middle income group, and the high income group. So the income group in percentage was found to be 48% major for the low income group, since this is a rural area that we are talking about, and the minor was at around 21% for the high income group. So the high income group was a group which earned around more than 10,000 rupees per month. So rupees is the Indian currency. So if they have earned around 10,000 rupees per month or above, they are classified as high income group. So this is the distribution of the number of people living in the house, and we have classified it based according to the low, medium, and high income groups. And we have seen that around 888 people were there for the income group 6 to 10. 2370 was the total case study for the field survey, as we have already discussed in a couple of slides earlier. So as the income level decreases, the number of people per house increases, and as the income level increases, the number of persons per house decreases. So there is an inverse correlation between the income level and the number of people inhabiting the house. Now, if there is an increase in the number of people for a low income group, this might lead to overcrowding in the house, bathroom, and washrooms, and can cause pollutions due to the increased garbage collections and deposits. We have also identified the distribution of sampled households for the low, medium, and high income group with the literary levels. And we have seen that there were a group of people who were illiterate and some of the people who had primary education, secondary education, and graduate education. So the main reason is that because of the poor economic status, the people cannot afford a lot of higher education strata, and they would rather prefer to go to the factories or industries for seeking out jobs and to support their family, which is actually huge in number. So this is one of the key inferences that we have received. Next, we have also talked about the occupation of the respondent sample household, and we have seen that people who are working in the government sectors are around 121 out of a total of 2,370 households, and that is a really low number, and this is a direct correlation of their literary status. So this was actually identified. Now, from here we have seen that less permanent and inadequate housing and the high income household is also possible for the number of people who are living in mud-walled houses and those who are living in concrete houses. Now, the identification of emerging pollutants was basically based or classified on 5 different factors. So, the important factors that led to this classification were the demographic factors, the water supply factors, the sanitation, solid waste, and the indoor air pollution. So, based on the demographic and socio-economic factors, we could definitely target poverty. For the water supply factor, there were nitrate group presence, and this also included the sanitation as well. The solid waste factors included the biological oxygen demand, the COD, TDS, etc. And for the indoor air pollution, we had emissions from sulfur oxides, carbon monoxide, suspended particulate matter, etc. So these were the 5 different verticals for my emerging pollutants for the various sources. And since the time is limited, I would really not like to go into the mathematical details and the machine learning concepts that we have done here. But a brief overview from here would be quite beneficial to this presentation. So what we have done is we have first used a statistical approach, which is quite popular to many researchers around the world, and it is known as principal component analysis. So using the principal component analysis, we have found out the variance of the major underlying factors, and we have found out the emerging pollutants. But was this the end of the story? Definitely not. Since we have classified the emerging pollutants into 5 classes, there needs to be a confirmation using some machine learning techniques. And for this, we have used the fuzzy C clustering using KNN approach and the ANN approach, that is the artificial neural network approach. So whatever results we have obtained from PCA, that is the principal component analysis, we have classified it and verified it using artificial neural network, and we have found out some of the key conclusions for this topic. So we see that the various demographic and socioeconomic variables in the rural areas also include the education, occupation, etc. And the higher income household had better access to essential amenities such as water supply, sanitation, and solid waste management. However, for the emerging pollutant study, we have seen that poverty is the emerging pollutant for socioeconomic status for the rural household. For the drinking water and wastewater characteristics, the study assessed the characteristics of drinking water and wastewater, and inadequate sanitation facilities were prevalent, which led to the improper disposal of the fecal matter in the fields and open drainage systems, which is quite prevalent in rural areas. And this is one of the main concerns why government has initiated a lot of national campaigns. Finally, we have talked about the household solid waste characteristics and the indoor air pollutants, and we have identified the emerging pollutants such as food waste, dirt ash, stones and bricks, and moisture content. We have also found out the emerging pollutants such as the nitrogen oxides and the sulfur oxides and the suspended particulate matter, which could potentially lead to respiratory problems and other health issues. Further, the households which are having poor ventilation due to their socioeconomic status or due to their literary or their poverty status, they mostly rely on traditional fuels for cooking, which is definitely not encouraged in indoor households. So these were the major conclusions for this study, and this study was one of the primary works in this area, especially considering the rural impacts of the area. So thank you everyone for lending your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. This is the website for the lab, and I have also placed the emails for any follow-up questions that you might have. So the floor is open for anyone who wants to ask any questions regarding this topic.
Thank you, Dr. Basraj, for your presence and presentation. Does anyone having any queries? I hope there are no queries. Once again, thank you, Dr. Basraj, for your presence and presentation. Now let's move on to the next presentation. Is from Dr. Abdul Rahman Mohammed from Cairo University, Egypt. Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are you ready with your presentation?
Hello. Yes. Just 1 minute.
Okay, now I'm making you as a presenter. Kindly click on the screen button to share your screen, please.
Okay.
Have you received any pop-up window on your screen?
Okay. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Hello.
Yes. Can you open your
I
presentation?
share. I share the screen, but
Yeah, your screen is shared. Please open your presentation and start your presentation.
okay. Screen is visible or not?
Yes, your screen is shared. Please open
No?
your PPT
Okay.
presentation. Yeah, it is visible. You can start your presentation.
Okay. Okay.
Don't open your GoToMeeting, just open your PPT presentation, start your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Abdulrahman Hassan from Cairo University, Department of Biotechnology. I will talk about studying the behavior of the light of bioreverter DF4BU TK2 as a light-on assay against lead. At first, the environmental water pollutant
Hello, Dr. Abdul
problem.
Rahman. Sorry for the interruption. Can you make it your mobile in a landscape mode?
Hello,
Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Can you make it your screen in a landscape mode?
screen not available.
Yes, it's visible. Can you make it as a landscape mode?
Okay, screen mode.
Your screen is in portrait mode. Can you make it as a landscape mode?
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, it is in portrait mode. Can you make it as a landscape mode and start your presentation, please?
It's okay or not?
Yes, your screen is visible, but it is in portrait mode. Can you make it in a landscape mode and start your presentation? Because we are unable to see your presentation clearly. Please turn your phone to the landscape mode.
Escape mode what? I, I can't understand you.
Please turn your mobile into landscape mode. Just turn your mobile.
Okay, escape mode.
It is in portrait mode. Please make it in a landscape mode.
Landscape mode and then continue.
Yes.
Is this okay?
Okay, you can start your presentation.
Okay. Environmental water pollution problem have steadily increasing in recent years. Therefore, numerous methodologies have been developed for sensitive and effective environmental monitoring. Among these methods, chemical method, physical method, and bioassay method. Bioassay such as a biosensor. First, biosensor. What is biosensor? Biosensors are analytical devices that combine a biological sensing element with a transducer to produce a signal proportion and analytical concentration. This signal can result from a change in proton concentration, release, or attack of gas, light emission, absorption, and so forth, brought about by the metabolism of the target compound by the biological recognition elements. The transducer converts the biological signal into a measurable response such as a current, potential, or absorption of light through electrochemical or optical means, which can be further amplified, processed, and stored for later analysis. Recently, genetic engineering bacteria were applied to contamination monitoring as a whole cell biosensor by bioluminescence. Bioluminescence, bioluminescence is associated with the emission of light by living microorganisms and plays a very important role in real-time process monitoring. The bacterial luminescence lux gene has been widely applied as a report either in an inducible or constitutive manner. In the inducible manner, the reporter lux gene is fused to promote regulated by the concentration of a compound of interest. As a result, the concentration of the compounds can be quantitatively analyzed by detecting the bioluminescence intensity. In the constitutive manner, the reporter gene is fused to promoters that are continuously expressed as long as the organism is alive and methodological activity. Think kind of report is good for evaluating the total toxicity of contamination. Both types of reporter have been shown to be further than the kind of report is good evaluating to total toxicity of contamination. Both types of reports have been shown to be useful for biosensor development. Heavy metal mediated toxicity in the environment is dependent on bioavailable metal concentration. Bioluminescence microbial biosensors have been exactly investigated to amount of bioavailable metal. In this study, we aimed to investigate whether biosensor DF4PUTK2, this means bacterial genetically modified, can be used for lead as assay comparing. Bioluminescence is a phenomenon of the living nature. The ability for emit visible light has emerged in the process of evolution. The luminescent organisms, even the most primitive bacteria or protozoa, this function. The process of implementing chemiluminescence resulting from the formation of an electron-excited intermediate in the course of enzyme and the visible light as FMNH2 plus oxygen and RCHO produce FMN, flavine, mononixin.
Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are there? Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman, are you there? I think there is a technical issue from Dr. Abdul Rahman's end. So in this case, we can move to the next presentation as we'll be moving ahead with the session. The next presenter is Dr. Shraddha Madhur Protham from Reva University, India. Hello, Dr. Shraddha. Are you ready with your presentation?
Yes, please.
Okay, Dr. Shraddha, now
And
I'm making you as a presenter. Kindly click on the screen button to
okay,
share your screen, please.
yeah, fine. Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Can you make it as a landscape mode and open your PPT presentation and start your presentation, please?
Now it's clear. My screen is visible.
Yeah, your screen is visible. Can you please make it as a landscape mode or a presentation mode? You can turn your mobile into landscape mode, please.
I'm sorry, it's not changing. Yeah, presentation mode I'm changing.
Yeah, and also please make your mobile into landscape mode, as we are only able to see the portrait mode.
One second. Hope it's visible now.
Yeah, it's perfect now. You can start your presentation.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dr. Sharda M. from Reva University, Bangalore, India. So here my title is Mathematical Modeling Differential Equation for Tumor Cell Analysis. So here we are
Sorry for
planning for an
interruption, Dr. Sharada. We
yeah.
are unable to see your screen. Okay, now it is okay. You can start. You can continue.
Yeah. So here we are planning for an interdisciplinary work, whereas we are going to take as a like a tumor cells, and we are going to analyze with the help of the laboratories as well as the software. So I'll start with my introduction. The cancer, the name given to a group of diseases in which abnormal cells grow and reproduce and control. Under the normal condition, it grows in our body, it's divide, die, and replace themselves in orderly controlled manner. However, if the process gets out of a control, cells can grow too rapidly without any order and develop into a lump. That only we'll call as a tumor. So, as a survey, we got to know in Singapore, cancer ranks as a number one killer, and 1 in 3 people will die of cancer. It is therefore not surprising that it receives a lot of attention in scientific world. In that, after early stages of the tumor growth, a multicellular structure consisting of inner zone necrotic cell and outer zone of living cells. Further, the outer zone is divided into a layer, profiling a cell and quantified cells. Due to this reason only, it's developing. So here there is a representation how that can be like the tumor, how that lump it is forming. So the inner one we will say it as necrotic core, the outer layer quotient layer, and the third one the other the mild light what we marked will say it as proliferating layer. So we'll continue here. As a tumor grows, the cells, the outer layer of a tumor have a easier access to nutrients compared to the cells in the center or core of the tumor. The cells on this edge of the tumor are closer to the blood vessels, or we can say our body, whichever we are considering, that bodies surrounding tissues which supply them with the high concentrate nutrients. So, on the other hand, this tumor are more distant from these nutrient sources and may have limited access to the required nutrients. So as a mathematician, what we can do here is have proposed various solutions based on the different approaches and techniques, and we are more modeling here in a logical way to understanding the growth of the tumor. So the objective of this work is the differential equation model M2 could be integrated to estimate the tumor volume. This method, like what we are proposing, provides a way of making optimal use of information. The area of this tumor can be computed using the iterative spatial sectoring method, that is ISS method. The growth of the cell can be measured by experimenting and good enough to observe patterns of the evolution of cell densities, advancing the pulses of profilaring cells and Gaussian cells are observed and to analyze the nutrition flow.
Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are you ready with your presentation? Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Can you please unmute yourself? Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Okay, I think there is another technical end issue from the speaker's end. Now we'll move on to the next presentation from Dr. Suresh Alivihara from University of Virginia, Sri Lanka. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Are you ready with the presentation?
Hello. Hello. Yes, I can start my presentation right now.
Okay, now I'm making you as a presenter. Kindly click on the screen button to share your screen, please.
Okay, right, sure.
I shared already. Excuse me. Am I audible?
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yes, your screen is shared. Can you make it?
Okay, sure.
Can you make it as a landscape mode and start your presentation?
Okay, sure. Right.
మ్యాథ్స్ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ ఎప్పుడు చేసుకున్నాడు?
Okay, wait.
Excuse me. I got disconnected in the middle. Am I audible?
Hello. Hello. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, your screen is visible, Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr.
Yes. Okay.
Sharda. We are moving ahead with the session. We have just moved the presentation for Suresh. After that, you can give your presentation, Dr. Sharda.
Okay. Right. Can you see my screen now? Oh,
Yes, your screen is visible. You can start your presentation,
hello.
please, Dr. Suresh.
You can't see. Oh,
Hello, Hello, Dr. Suresh. There's lots of disturbance from your end. We are unable to hear your voice, and your screen is visible. Can you please check your microphone settings and start your presentation, or we'll move to the other session now. Meanwhile, you can check your connectivity issue and get back to us again. Okay, Dr. Sharda, now I'm making you as a presenter. Kindly click on screen button to share your screen, please.
Yes, I'm sharing the screen.
Okay, okay. Please check
So
your
can I start from
connectivity.
the
No,
hope
you
my
can start
screen is
from where you
visible?
have your screen is visible. Before that, please check your connectivity issue again so that we can
No,
avoid the
mine is
interruption
fine.
middle.
Hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, your screen is visible. Okay, so you can continue from the presentation where you have stopped.
Yeah, I stopped in the middle of process of cell culture. So I'm
Okay, you can start
continuing with
from there,
that.
continue from there. Okay, it's no problem.
Yeah, so here we are involving some general steps to involve in the culturing the tumor cells. So first we'll collect the sample tissue samples. Like here we are concentrating on the brain tumor. So we will collect the sample of the brain tumor tissue from the patients during the surgery and or biopsy. Then we will make as a proper sample. The tissue sample is transported to the laboratory in a sterile container and processed under the sterile conditions. The sample is washed with the sterile buffer to remove any blood or debris. Then we will start the process like mechanical and enzymatic dissociation. The tissue sample is mechanically and enzymically dissociated into small pieces to release individual cells. Then we'll isolate it. The dissociated cells are filtered through a series of mass screenings to remove any remaining tissues or large aggregates will be there. Then we'll go for a culture preparation. A culture medium is prepared that contains all the nutrients and growth factors required for cell culture, cell growth. For brain tumor cells, the medium is usually supplemented with specific factors that support their growth and survival. Then how we can do the process? First, we'll go for a planting the cells. After the cells being isolated, the cells are planted in a clean culture vessel such as tissue culture flask, dish or plate containing that culture medium. Next process is the growth and the maintenance. The culture vessel is placed in a cell culture incubator set at appropriate temperature. The culture medium is changed regularly and the cells are monitored for growth and viability. Next, we'll process for the passaging the cells. The cells growth and reach confluences that they are removed from the culture vessel and subcultured into a new vessel to maintain the growth, also to prevent the overcrowding. Next, we'll characterize that and experimenting. The cultured brain tumor cells can be characterized for their specific molecular and genetic features and used for various experimental purposes such as drug screening, gene expression analysis, or studying the mechanism for tumor growth and invasion. The method we use here is essentially the post-segmentation operation, whereby tumor regions from the MRI slices have been segmented using any of the existing and medical images inclined segmentation method. First, we shall begin with the computation of the tumor area using iterative special sectoring method. Then plot we can plot a graph of the tumor area average versus slice thickness from where the mathematical model is involved. The method provides a way of making optimal use of information, and this model aimed could be integrated to estimate the volume of the tumor. This model can be solved using decomposition method, which helps in deciding the nature of the treatment like surgical or radiation, and how we can analyze the specimen. Next, so for the brain tumor growth analysis, the specimens are very useful. First, the tumor tissues. The biopsy or surgical resection of the brain tumor can provide tumor tissue for analysis. This tissue can be analyzed for genetic mutations, protein expressions, and other factors that may influence the tumor growth. Next is important one is blood samples can be analyzed for biomarkers associated with the brain tumors such as circulating tumor cells or tumor DNA. This can provide a non-invasive method to monitor the tumor growth and response to the treatment. Also, we can proceed with the radiological examination. So, imaging the test such as computed tomography scans and magnetic resources, which is imaging MRI, provide information about the size, location, and characteristics of the tumor. Then patient's medical history. The patient's medical history, including any previous brain tumors, radiation therapy, or chemotherapy, can also be used to inform about this growth analysis. So for this process, we are using the MATLAB software to analyze and to represent that. So the developed model is to solve for the given set of variable and functions with the initial as well as the boundary condition used for Jompert's growth method. The value of the parameter are observed and analyzed to study their effects on the models. After experimenting with various values, we find suitable and sufficiently capable of discerning patterns in the evolution of cell densities. The, the area of the tumor is computed using iterative spatial sectoring method. The growth of the cell can be measured by experimenting and capable of spotting trends in the evolution of cell densities. Advancing pulses of proliferating cells and quotient cells are observed and to analyze the nutrition flow. The usage of MATLAB in this discussion serves an example of the significant contribution that technology has made to mathematical modeling research, in addition to serving as a platform for effectively applying the numerical scheme. MATLAB also works as a helpful tool to produce the graph come from this model. These are all my references. So I'm done with mine. Is there any other queries? Thank you. Hope I'm audible. Excuse me, Richard. Richard, am I audible? Hello, everyone. Thank you everyone. I am done with my presentation.
Hello, Dr. Sharada Madhurbutam. That was a wonderful presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Does anyone have any query? Hope there are no queries. Let us move forward with the presentations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the next presentation is by Dr. Abdul Rahman. Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are you ready with your presentation? Hello, Hello, Dr. Sharada. Un- uh, can you unshare your screen, please?
No, it's unable to. My app got stuck. That's why I'm unable to.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are you ready with your presentation?
Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Are you ready with your presentation? Hello, Dr. Abdul Rahman. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Are you ready now? Hello, Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Okay, let's wait a few more minutes so that the speakers respond with Hello, Dr. Abdul. Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh.
Everyone,
This conference will now be recorded.
my name is Abdurrahman Hassan Muhammad from Cairo University, Egypt. I will talk about studying the behavior of the light of assay bioreporter DF4BUTK2 as a light on assay against lead. Environmental water pollution problems have steadily increased in recent years. Therefore, numerous methodologies have been developed for sensitive and effective environmental monitoring. Among these methods, chemical methods, physical methods, and bioassay methods. In bioassay method, recently genetically engineered bacteria were applied to contamination monitoring as whole cell biosensor bioluminescence. First of all, what is biosensor and what is bioluminescence? The bioluminescence is associated with emission of light by living microorganisms and plays a very important role in real-time process monitoring. The bacterial luminescence lux gene has been widely applied as a reporter either in an inducible or constitutive manner. In the inducible manner, the reporter lux gene is fused to promoter regulated by the concentration of a compound of interest. As a result, the concentration of compound can be quantitatively analyzed by detecting the bioluminescence intensity. The, and in the constitutive manner, the reporter gene is fused to promoters that are continuously expressed as long as the organism is alive and metabolically active. This kind of report is good for evaluating the total toxicity of contamination. Both types of reporters have been shown to be useful for biosensor development. Heavy metal mediated toxicity in the environmental is dependent on bioavailable metal concentration. Bioluminescence microbial biosensors have been extensively investigated to monitor bioavailable metal. The environmental problems caused by industrial and agricultural pollution have increased the demand for the development of pollutant and toxicity detection methods. The functions of reward genes to promoters that are induced when the cells are stressed by toxic chemical are one promising approach that has been used to fabricate biosensor for such applications. Recombinant bacterial peering. In our study aimed they investigate whether biosensor DF4-PUTK2, which genetically modified, can be used for lead as a light on a say conveyor. The principle of bioluminescence reaction or the mechanism of bioluminescence.
Bioluminescence is one of the most fascinating and the unique phenomena of the living nature. The ability to emit visible light has emerged in the process of the evolution. The luminescent organisms, even the most primitive bacteria or protozoa, evolved special.
Hello, Dr. Abdul. Can you please change your slides?
Okay,
Your slides are
is
not
okay.
changing. We are in the page one. We are able to see only the page one.
Okay, okay.
Can you make it as a presentation mode, please? Please make it as a presentation mode.
I make it.
No,
Presentation
it is
mode.
not visible to. No, it is not visible to us. Please open your GoToMeetings app and unshare screen sharing and share again the whole screen.
Okay, share screen.
Please open your GoToMeetings app and unshare and share again. Are you there?
Uh, this okay?
Now make it as a full
It's okay
screen.
now?
Please share your entire screen while sharing. You will get a pop-up window. In that, please select entire screen for sharing. We are unable to see your changing slides here. Can you please unshare and share again the whole screen, your whole desktop,
Okay,
please?
okay, okay. Share again.
Once you click on share, you'll get a pop-up window to share the whole screen. Please select that.
This okay?
Yes, it's perfect. Now make it as a presentation mode. Yes, start your presentation,
Okay.
please. Yes, continue.
Okay. Uh, we begin again. Mechanism of bioluminescence. The mechanism of bioluminescence is the bacterial bioluminescence caused by the reaction catalyzed by luciferase, which flavin-dependent monooxygenase, requiring a reduced flavin mononucleotide FMNH2 and oxygen and the long-chain fatty aldehyde RCHO as its formula FMNH2 plus oxygen plus long-chain fatty aldehyde. The reaction produce are the oxidizable oxidized FMN plus water plus fatty acid and light emission. Okay, and then when bioluminescence contain two types of light on and light of assay. In light on assay reporter gene like CDABE gene is regulatory gene. Promoter can play a role in light on, and other type is light off. In this case, Luxi DAB gene toxic by pollutant and the light not emission. Okay, in this study, we prepared the culture media, LB media, and gross bacteria, Escherichia coli and Acinetobacter, and make a molecular technique such as DNA extraction, DNA purification, and PCR purification, and DNA sequencing. At final analytical techniques in our lizards, the bioluminescence induction, BID, percentage by lead salts at different concentrations in a different lead, such as lead nitrate, lead chloride, and lead acetate. The bioluminescence increase by increasing the concentration until reach 15,000 parts per million. The light or bioluminescence decline. In case of lead nitrate, the figure show that response of the pyroberter DFA4 BUTK2 to lead nitrate concentration either by induction or inhibition correlated with exposure time. Respectively, the results show that bioluminescence of the control and control that which colored by orange color and other color is different concentration from lead nitrate. Turned to be equal after 13 minutes, and continued equal to 716 minutes in this figure. After which the bioluminescence started to decline, with the control began faster than the lead treatment, indicating light of effect. At the same time, with lead nitrate observed the bio increasing the concentration of lead nitrate, the emitting light of bioluminescence steadily increase when the concentration of lead nitrate was 19.53 part per million. The bioluminescence was 919.726, with lead nitrate concentration 39.06 part per million. The bioluminescence was 956,191.5. With lead nitrate concentration 625 part per million, the bioluminescence was 121,724.5. Finally, the bioluminescence was 148,9476 when the lead nitrate concentration reached 10,000 parts per million after 810 minutes from startup assay that it what figured in this figure. Okay, and in this table the bioluminescence increase by increasing of concentration of lead nitrate by minute and minute. Okay, and in case of lead chloride, bioluminescence behavior of DF4-BUTK2 pyroberter against lead chloride are shown in this figure. Induction of observed starting the first 3 minutes exposure time with all tested concentration, and the control treatment colored by orange, and induction stage prolonged until the pyroberter gave the maximum bioluminescence value equal to control. The bioluminescence values were varied according to the examined concentration. The effect of lead chloride on the bioreporter DF4 BUTK2 after the stability period, which gave stable bioluminescence value with the all tested concentration from 39.06 to 10,000 parts per million and the control. The result clearly shown that bioluminescence of the bioreporter started to decrease in this figure. 2 degrees firstly in the control, followed by the 5 lead nitrate and the chloride concentration with showed lead decay as compared with the control. By increasing the concentration of lead chloride, by increasing of concentration of lead chloride, the bioluminescence increasing when the concentration of lead nitrate was 19.53 parts per million. The bioluminescence was in this case and increasing, and it kept increasing until it reached to at 10,000 parts per million. All this detection of the same of time at 813 minutes in this table. And the last case, lead acetate. The effect of lead acetate in concentration range of 19.06 to 13,000 parts per million on behavior of bioreporter DF4 BUTK2 was studied. As shown in this figure, progressed bioluminescence induction was observed that with all tested concentration. After 30 minutes of exposure, the induction behavior of the examined lead acetate concentration was similar to the previously described effect by the lead nitrate and lead chloride. The lead effective 870 minutes of the lead acetate concentration of the luminescence behavior by bacterial bioreporter is presented in the figure. Similar trends in the bioluminescence behavior were also found with the lead chloride concentration treatment. By increasing of concentration of lead chloride, the bioluminescence increasing when the concentration of lead nitrate by reach concentration 39.06 parts per million. The bioluminescence increased again to and to 95619.1.5, and it kept increasing until it reached 48,9476 at 10,000 parts per million. All of these detected at the same of time 830 minutes. In summary, recombinant from previous results, it can be concluded that the bioreporter DF4 PUTK2 work efficiently to detect lead nitrate, lead chloride, and lead acetate, and give best result with the lead acetate and work with high performance among concentration 0 and 15,000 parts per million. This work was improved the functionalize a whole cell-based biosensor in monitoring lead in water samples in the laboratory. In this study, the genetically altered bacterium Acinetobacter DF4 BUTK2 was used as light on bioluminescence biosensor instead of light of assay. It was possible to detect the presence of lead in water samples through light induction in a specific concentration, which add another advantage to the bioreporter DF4 BUTK. Thank you. Any question? Hello. Any question? Hello. Any question?
Well, yes, thank you, Dr. Abdul, for your presence and presentation. Does anyone having any queries?
Okay.
I hope there are no queries. Once again, thank you, Dr. Abdul Rahman, for your presence and presentation. Now, let's move on to the last presentation from Dr. Suresh Aluvihara. Dr. Suresh, are
Thank
you
you.
ready with your presentation? Dr. Suresh. Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Hello, Dr. Suresh. Can you please switch on your microphone? We are unable to hear your voice. Can you please switch on your microphone? Please check your microphone settings. We are unable to hear your voice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible now. Now I am making as a presenter. Kindly click on the screen button to share your screen.
Okay, sure.
Have you received any pop-up window?
Not yet. Not yet. please.
I have made you as a presenter.
All right, sure. Right now it's okay.
Okay, please share your entire screen
Okay,
and open your presentation. Make your mobile in a landscape mode and start your presentation now.
okay, sure. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes, you can start.
Okay, actually give me a minute because there is a problem with my app because it is struggling and as it was happened earlier for another present as well. Wait, okay.
Okay, please open your presentation and start your presentation now.
Okay, now can you see my presentation?
Yes,
Then it's okay. Okay,
you can start your presentation.
okay, right. This is the third international conference on applied science and engineering 2023. I am Suresh Aluhar from University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka. I am going to talk about an advanced review on impact of plastic pollutant on soil and land areas. Okay, we will see what about the introduction part. Uh, in generally, plastics are made from organic polymers synthesized from petroleum chemicals that would be a byproduct of chemical products. In this consideration, the degradation or decomposition of plastics, it is very resistant for most common natural degradation processes. They may have a long lifetime period due to the large production and non-reusable of most of plastic types, and also the accumulation of those plastics would be a severe environmental issue while lacking of proper discharging or disposing options. Okay. uh, the soil and land pollution is mainly caused by different plastic while making a gateway for the pollution of some other sections of the earth as the ocean, groundwater, and also the atmosphere. Also, there can be found some impacts of different sizes of plastics on the soil and land, as the land is the inaugural habitation for the most of disposable materials, such as the direct disposal in dump sites and landfillings. As I mentioned you earlier, the size is much important. We can find some microplastics and macroplastics and large scale plastics. Okay. Therefore, the contamination or the pollution of other parts of the earth is interrelated with the land pollution because the direct exposure to air and water. In the existing review work, they are expected to identify the major impacts on soil by the disposing plastics and make some possible suggestions in the proper recovery methods and disposable methods. Uh, okay,
Hello,
when
Dr.
when
Suresh.
you
Sorry for the interruption. We are unable to see your slides.
okay, wait,
Can you please reshare your screen again?
okay, sure, I will do that one. Okay,
Please open your presentation.
okay, sure. Now can you see it?
Your screen is visible, but your presentation is now visible. You can continue.
Okay, okay, right. Okay. Okay, we will see what about the hazardous compounds in plastics. Usually the chlorinated plastics are significantly harmful regarding the water, soil and air because there can be released a few of toxic compounds from those chlorinated plastics. Then the toxic chemical compounds are seeped into the groundwater bodies and soils due to the interaction with surface water, rainwater that reduce the quality of drinking water. Okay, we will see what are the hazardous compounds in plastics. Okay. First of all, the phthalated that is an agent we are using to increase the durability of plastics. Then lead, those are heavy metals. Ethylene, dioxin. Dioxin means that would be a gas. Okay. Then the explosive compounds. Then oxidizing agents. Then organotins. Okay, then we will see what about the impacts of those plastics on the soil. The major impact is the accumulation of plastics and leaching of toxic chemical compounds that make some infertile soil that inappropriate for the agricultural uses. That is a major issue. Okay, then this is the further recommendation for soil protection. Therefore, the development of reusing, recycling, and recovery methods for the used plastics, implementation of proper or harmless landfilling methods such as the places for far away from drinking water sources, that is much important, and also the development of some thermal treatment processes such as the gasification, which is a costly method. Actually, we are developing these kind of methods instead of the incineration. Incineration is much emission generation method. Uh, that would be a simple method, but emissions are high. Therefore, we are developing these kinds of methods. Okay. Now I will discuss about the 4R concept. The first point.
This conference will now be recorded.
I think again there's a technical issue from Dr. Suresh end. So we have tried to reach him, but we are unable to reach him. So by this we have come to the end of day 2 webinar, and we will be glad if you could join us in this in-person conference which is scheduled in June 2024 at Vienna, Austria, and the dates will be informed to you by mail. We will be happy if you could share your opinion and feedback with us. Thank you.